What's going on, guys? In this video, I'm going to share the 3 most common reasons that people end up ruining their email deliverability without even realizing it. And this is assuming that you don't have any kind of issues with your domain, because if you don't have your domain set up correctly, then that's obviously going to cause email deliverability issues. But that's usually one of the easiest things to figure out, because you can just use a simple diagnostic tool. There's some free ones available for that, and it's usually just a quick fix in the DNS of your domain. So, but again, assuming you have that set up correctly, there are things that a lot of people do with their email marketing that they don't realize is doing any damage, and partially because this has actually changed. So the email inboxes such as Gmail, they have gotten a lot more strict over the last few years about not allowing emails through that seem spammy in any kind of way, even though that might sound surprising because of all the spam emails you probably get. But believe it or not, they have cracked down a lot, and just doing things that, again, some people might think is just normal or actually a good thing can harm your email deliverability. So the first example that I have here is one of those things, which is sending every email to your entire list. So this is something where it makes sense why someone would want to do that, because you think, well, I've spent all this time and money building up my email list, and I want to get the most value out of this asset. So why wouldn't I send my emails to everyone on your list? And there's a few reasons for that. So first reason is that a lot of any email you send out, everyone on your list probably doesn't want that email. It makes more sense to be using segmentation and to be sending emails that are most relevant to people, unless it's a big site-wide sale or a new product launch or something that's really exciting where you would want to let everyone know. And in those cases, it might make sense to email the majority of people on your list. But most of the time, you don't want to be emailing your entire list. And the reason why is because a lot of the people on your list are going to be unengaged, meaning that they either don't want to receive your emails anymore, maybe they no longer use that email address, so it's basically just going to an inbox that no one sees, or any variety of reasons why someone may intentionally or unintentionally not be engaging with your emails, meaning they're not opening and clicking. And so you've got all these people on your list who are affecting your performance metrics or your engagement metrics on your emails, and a lot of them might not even be they might not even have access to that email address anymore. But the thing is, like, you're looking at your open rates, your click rates, and all of that, and if you're taking into consideration all of these people who have just stopped engaging with your emails altogether for months, you're not really getting true data. So that's one thing that why for you it makes more sense to be using segmentation and not emailing people who are unengaged. But here's the thing when it comes to email deliverability is that poor engagement on your emails, whether it's low open rates, low click rates, people clicking spam, people unsubscribing at really high rates, all of those things are going to tell Gmail and the other inboxes that people don't want to receive these emails, and they will start to send them to the promotions tab instead of inbox, and they will start to send them to spam. And a lot of that, what happens is a lot of the people who actually do want to receive your emails, they don't even get them anymore, and your emails are going to spam, and they don't even know it, simply because Gmail just thinks that they wouldn't want to get them because of the low performance. So again, this is just like a very common mistake that people make, and a lot of times they don't realize that the damage has been done until it's too late, because they'll notice that revenue just keeps declining from their email marketing, but a lot of those emails aren't even getting delivered, so they just don't even realize how many people who potentially want those emails and would buy for them are not even getting them. Okay, so the second most common thing that email marketers do is being too aggressive with the copy in the subject line or in the email itself. So just always using urgent, high urgency, all caps, lots of exclamation points, lots of emojis, basically doing the things either in the subject line, doing the things to try to trick people into clicking, but then also having just very salesy language in the email itself. In fact, a lot of times even things like, saying that something is a limited time, or even claims around, like if you're selling supplements and certain claims around what's natural or not. There's a lot of words that will trigger these different spam filters just because of the massive amount of spam that's out there where they are using very salesy, spammy, high urgency type of language. So this is something where it doesn't mean that you don't ever do any of that, but you want to be more selective about when you do that. So if you do that in every email, then you're definitely going to get flagged, and you're going to start getting added to these lists where you're just no longer going to people's inboxes. But you can still get away with it if you just reserve that for your Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and your other big sales like that, where you might want to have more urgency, and just not making a point to not do that on a regular basis. And then beyond the email deliverability issue, a lot of that's just really going to turn people off, which is going to force you to get lower engagement from those people, which again is then in turn going to have a negative impact on your deliverability. So you start to see how a lot of the things that are just good for your subscribers and good for your business in general as far as email marketing goes also correlate with what's good for email deliverability. And then finally, the last most common thing I see is having an infrequent sending schedule. So there's a lot of times when businesses, they might send out 1 or 2 emails this month, and then they'll go a month or 2 or 3 months without emailing, and then they might send one again, and then maybe they stop, and then maybe they decide, okay, it's time to get serious about this, and they'll send 3 or 4. And for one, there's the factor of the inboxes themselves don't like that. They prefer to see a regular cadence, because that's just what looks, because again, they know you're sending from an email service provider. They know this is not a personal email coming from your personal inbox. So that's not predictable in normal business marketing activity. But the bigger thing here goes back to what the point I've been making through all of this is that type of infrequent sending schedule makes it very difficult to keep your audience and your email list engaged, because it just gets a lot of times they'll just forget. Like, if they're new to your list and you email them once or twice, and then you go a month or 2 without emailing them, by the time you email them again, they might have forgotten that they've even signed up for your list in the first place, what your business is or who you are, any of that. So again, it's more likely for them to unsubscribe, click spam, or just not engage with the emails overall. And it's also just hard to maintain that communication with the people on your list if you're doing that. And again, all those things always go back to low email deliverability performance. So if you can avoid these 3 things, so if you're using segmentation, if you're sending email where you're thoughtful about the content and it's just you're not doing nonstop big high pressure sales, and you have a regular sending frequency, could be once a month, once a week, twice a week, whatever it is, and you generally stick to that, then you're going to be able to avoid all of this, and which is going to help you maintain the health of your list long term, which means you'll get way more value from your list long term. So that's it for this video. If you have any questions about that, then just leave them in the comments below, and I'd be happy to answer them. And I'll see you in the next video.